When it comes to talking to your friends, there's not usually many subjects that are off limits. That's the great thing about good friends, isn't it? You can talk to them about anything and everything. But when it comes to talking about MS, it can sometimes be difficult to find the right words. Getting your own head around MS can be quite tough, let alone trying to explain to somebody why you can't always do the things you want to because of weird and annoying MS symptoms. But talking to people can help and be beneficial, as bottling up emotions and frustrations has never done anyone any good. I'm Sam and I have MS. Here's some advice that I think may be beneficial for talking to your friends about MS. I've been really fortunate that my friends and family have been really supportive since day one. My friends actually came to visit me in the hospital when I was there. Wasn't really sure. The word MS had been thrown around, but there was no official diagnosis then. So I do remember the first time I went round one of my friends' houses in the evening, and sort of my whole friendship circle was there. So it was like the right time to tell them that I'd had this diagnosis and this is what had happened. But because I was so new to it as well myself, I didn't really have much to say on it or many answers. They had a lot of questions, but I didn't know. I was new to it. I didn't know much about MS prior to the diagnosis. So a lot of what I had to say was, I don't know, I'm not sure, it depends. So for me, I think it was really important to tell them so that they knew, but there was more importance to continue that line of communication, because it's been since then, that was back in 2015, the last 3 years where things have developed. I've learnt more of what I can and can't do, just in general about MS. So I think it is really important to not only tell your friends, but to keep that line of communication open so they can kind of understand where you're at, really. There's I say famous, I don't know if it's famous, but there's a spoon theory that goes around that people kind of teach their friends, that you have so many spoons that you can use a day, and having a shower or having breakfast takes away a spoon. And you kind of get them to talk through their day, and you take a spoon away from them each time, which is kind of helpful for some people. But I think with your really close friends, you don't necessarily have to give them that example. You can just talk to them about how your day has been. Fatigue is like a big one, I think, to try explain, because just trying to say, oh, you're tired, like everybody gets tired, and it's sort of finding how to explain that difference, I guess. But yeah, I think when you have such close friends, rather than having to put it into an example or try liken it to something, just tell them how you're feeling, and they'll understand that. And oh well, even if they don't understand it, they'll listen and try be there for you how they can. So I think that's the best way, really. Like, there are ways of telling people and explaining it, and you can show them videos or read them passages, but I found that just telling them how I'm feeling works the best. People sort of associate it with just mobility issues. So for myself, it was my walking and my hands and things, and that's a very visible thing to see. So I think people think, oh, MS, it leads to being in a wheelchair or walking difficulties or just in general mobility. They don't know about all the other symptoms that can come with MS, like the fatigue, bladder and bowel problems, cognitive problems, eyesight problems. Like, there's so much else that is deemed sort of invisible. But I think that's the kind of misconception, that it is just that and there's nothing else that goes with it, which again is why it's so important to talk to your friends about things, because you could be sat there with them and your leg be in pain or your eyesight playing up, and they can't see that. So unless you tell them, they might not necessarily know that anything's wrong. I get normal tired too. Everyone does. Like, if I've had a long day or anything, and but you do. Well, I found I've started to learn over the 3 years the difference between, okay, I've had a busy day and I'm tired, to this is fatigue. And for me, the fatigue kind of feels like if I'm in bed, like if it's the morning I've woke up, it feels like someone's like pinning me down. Like every part of my body is concrete, or I've just run a marathon or something. It's that tingly feeling across your whole body of tiredness. So I try to, when I do explain it to people, say, give that comparison. I am aware of what it feels like to just be knackered, to be tired from having a long day. And yeah, just sort of explain that it just feels like a weight on you when it's fatigue. I feel like trying to liken it to something physical, like a weight or someone pushing you down, is helpful because it kind of gives people a bit more of a idea of what you mean rather than, oh, I'm tired. I've been really fortunate that my family and friends have been really supportive. So I wouldn't say that I've ever faced a problem with the accepting it or any support they've shown me. But in the 3 years, I have found that sometimes it is that constant reminder to them, that you're still not better in a way, if that makes sense. Like, I had a period of time where they thought, oh, okay, she can't come out at the moment because she's getting over a relapse. But then it's that, still asking me to do things that I can't do. But it's a difficult one, really, because I'm glad that they still ask me. I don't want it ever to be that they don't. But, it is hard, I guess, for other people to understand that it's a lifelong thing. So, again, just keep your friends in the loop, really. And as long as they're always understanding things or trying to be there for you, then you can't really go wrong.